In the middle of a busy market, two items sat side by side on a wooden stall. One was a golden vase. It was beautiful, but it had a long crack running down its side. You could see it clearly, a mark left by time, and yet people stopped to look at it. They leaned in close, they whispered to each other. They pointed and smiled. The price tag on the vase said 10,000 coins. Right next to it sat a clay pot. Plain, round, smooth, no cracks, no chips, no marks of any kind. It was solid and strong. It could hold water for days. It could carry grain without spilling a single piece. It could last for years without breaking. But the price tag on the clay pot said 1,000 coins. One day, a wealthy collector walked through the market. He was dressed in fine clothes, and he had the eyes of someone who had seen many beautiful things. He walked slowly, looking left and right, and then he stopped. He was standing in front of the golden vase. He tilted his head. He studied the crack. He ran his finger along it gently, the way you touch something that feels rare. Then he smiled, a quiet, certain smile. "How much?" he asked the market seller. 10,000 coins, the seller replied. The collector did not flinch. He reached into his coat, counted the coins, placed them on the table, and lifted the vase carefully with both hands. And just like that, he walked away. The clay pot watched all of this in silence. It had seen that collector walk right past it, without even a glance, not a second look, not even a pause. And something heavy settled inside the pot that day. A feeling it could not shake. A quiet, aching question that stayed with it long after the sun went down. Why? Night came to the market. The stalls grew quiet. The vendors packed away their things, and the clay pot sat alone in the dim light thinking, "I have no cracks, I have no flaws. I am stronger than that vase ever was. I can carry more, I can last longer. I can do things that vase could never do. So why was it worth 10 times more than me?" The days that followed were not easy. Every morning the market filled with people, and every morning they walked past the pot. Sometimes someone would pick it up, turn it over, nod quietly, and put it back down. "Nice pot," they would say, "strong, solid." But no one ever said it was special. No one ever said it was rare. And 1,000 coins was still the price on the small tag beside it. The pot began to wonder if maybe it was just ordinary. Maybe strong and reliable was all it would ever be. Maybe that was simply its place in the world. To be useful, to be functional, to do a job and nothing more. And slowly, that thought started to feel less like a question and more like a truth. One afternoon, an elderly merchant came to the market. He was not there to buy anything. He walked slowly with a wooden cane, stopping here and there to look at things, the way old people normally do. He stopped at the wooden stall. He looked at the clay pot for a long moment. Then he sat down on a small bench nearby, resting his cane across his knees. "You look heavy today," he said quietly. The pot was surprised. Nobody had ever spoken to it like that, not with that kind of softness. "I suppose I am," the pot replied. The old merchant nodded. "I have been coming to this market for 40 years, he said. "I have seen many things come and go. Tell me, what is weighing on you?" And so the pot told him everything. About the vase, about the collector, about the 10,000 coins, about the days of being passed over, about the quiet fear that maybe it was simply not enough. The old merchant listened to all of it without interrupting. He did not rush. He did not look away. He just listened. When the pot finished, there was a moment of silence between them. Then the merchant spoke. "Let me ask you something," he said. "That golden vase, why do you think the collector wanted it so badly?" "Because it was beautiful," the pot said. "Because it was golden." The merchant shook his head gently. "No, he wanted it because of the crack." The pot was confused. "The crack? But the crack was a flaw." "To you maybe," the old merchant said, "but to him that crack told a story. It meant the vase had lived through something. It meant no other vase in the world looked quite like it. The crack made it the only one of its kind. He paused. That is what rare means. It means only one. It means impossible to replace. The pot was quiet. Now, the merchant continued, think carefully. What can you do that no other pot in this market can do? The pot thought, I can carry water, I can store grain, I am strong, I do not break easily. The old merchant smiled, but it was a patient smile. Yes, and how many other pots in this market can do those same things? The pot looked around. There were dozens of pots on nearby stalls. All of them strong, all of them solid, all of them useful. The silence that followed was long and honest. Strength alone is not enough, the merchant said. His voice was not unkind, it was just true. The world is full of strong things. Strong horses, strong walls, strong pots. Strength is good. But if anyone can find it anywhere, then it is not rare. And what is not rare does not hold much value. He leaned forward slightly. But you have the ability to become more than what you are right now. The question is, are you willing to find out what that looks like? He stood up slowly, picked up his cane, and began to walk away. Then he stopped and turned back one last time. The vase did not choose its crack, he said, but you can choose what you become. And then he was gone. The pot sat with those words for a long time. You can choose what you become. What did that even mean for a clay pot? What could a pot become beyond what it already was? It started small. It started with a simple question. What if I held something living? One morning, a flower seller nearby dropped a small bundle of herbs. The pot offered to hold them while she rearranged her baskets. She tucked the herbs inside with a little soil, and something unexpected happened. The herbs stood upright, the roots found the cool walls of the pot. The green leaves caught the morning light. People walking by slowed down. Oh, one woman said softly, look at that. Something shifted in the pot that morning. A small shift, quiet but real. Over the following days, the pot began to pay attention. It watched how people moved through the market. It noticed what made them stop, what made their eyes soften, what made them reach into their pockets without even thinking. It was never the plain things, it was always the things that surprised them, the things that made them feel something. And so, slowly and carefully, the pot began to fill itself with life. Weeks passed, then months, and the pot began to change. Not dramatically on the outside, but in a way that people could feel when they stood close to it. One bright morning, a familiar figure walked into the market. The wealthy collector, the same man who had bought the golden vase months ago. And then it caught his eye. He was standing in front of the clay pot. The pot was full of color now. Soft pink flowers grew along one side. It looked like something rare. The collector stood there for a long moment. He reached out and touched the rim carefully. He looked at the flowers. Then he turned to the seller. How much? He asked. 20,000 coins, the seller said. The collector was quiet for a moment. Then he nodded. He reached into his coat. He placed the coins on the table one by one, and he lifted the pot gently with both hands, the way you carry something that matters, and he walked away. As the sounds of the market faded behind it, the pot felt something it had never felt before. Not just pride, something deeper than that. It felt like understanding. All those months ago, it had watched that same collector walk away with the vase and felt completely worthless. It had sat alone in the dark and asked why. It had spent days feeling invisible, feeling like its strength was not enough, like there was some secret everyone else knew, but it did not. And now it finally understood. The secret was not complicated. It was not about being the biggest or the loudest or the most perfect. It was not about having beautiful flaws or pretending to be something you were not. It was simply about becoming something no one else was. The vase had its crack. The pot had its flowers. Both had become rare in their own way. But the vase did not choose its story. The pot did. It had looked honestly at what it was, A strong, plain, simple thing. And instead of asking, "Why am I not enough?" it had asked something different. What more can I become? And that one question had changed everything. There are so many of us walking through life feeling exactly like that clay pot in the beginning. We work hard. We show up every day. We carry heavy things without complaining. And still somehow we feel passed over. Like the world just does not see what we are truly worth. And maybe you have asked that question before quietly when nobody was listening. Why does it feel so easy for others? Why does it feel like I am doing everything right and still not getting there? Here is what the clay pot learned and what I hope stays with you long after this video ends. Strength is good. Hard work is good. Showing up every day is good. But the world is full of people who are strong and hardworking. What the world does not have enough of is people who are brave enough to ask themselves the harder question. What can I become that no one else is? That question is not comfortable. It asks you to try things that might not work, to sit with not knowing yet, to keep going even when the market around you still feels quiet. But if you keep asking it, and if you keep moving toward the answer, something will shift. Slowly at first, then more and more, and one day, the right person will walk into your life and see exactly what you have become. And the value they place on you will surprise even you. You are not just what you are today. You are what you are willing to become. If this story meant something to you, please subscribe to our channel. Every week we bring you simple stories with powerful lessons, stories about growing, finding your worth, and becoming who you were always meant to be. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the story. We will see you in the next one.